look at Chapter 4. We're going to start out by looking at the characteristics of cells and life. And of course we know that all living things, whether they're multicellular or unicellular, are made of cells. And they are going to have a basic shape. They can be spherical, they can be cubical, or even cylindrical. They're going to contain cytoplasm with a membrane around them. And they're going to have DNA that's usually in a chromosome or chromosomes. They're going to have ribosomes, and they're going to be able to carry on metabolic activities. And we've already mentioned two basic cell types, the eukaryotic cells and the prokaryotic cells. Now, our eukaryotic cells, these are the ones that are in our animals, our plants, our fungi, and our protists. They all have a double membrane-bound nucleus where the DNA and chromosomes are located. And they also have membrane-bound organelles. And this compartmentalizes the cytoplasm, and each organelle has a specific function. Now the prokaryotic cells, this is our bacteria and archaea. They do not have a nucleus, and they do not have membrane-bound organelles. They are very simple. Now, what characteristics do all cells share? First of all, we know that all organisms that are alive are composed of cells. And cells are going to grow and develop. And you can see here, over to the right, you can have one cell that divides and makes two, and those divide each and make two, and it continues dividing. And this is how we grow, and this is how we develop. The cells are also going to respond to internal and external stimuli. They're going to respond with movement. They're very irritable, so they respond to any stimulus. They also are going to be involved as far as with the life processes and the chemical processes by metabolism and enzymes. And things are going to have to be transported, nutrients and waste, across the cell membranes. And of course also they have to reproduce in order to make new cells or new individuals. Another thing is cell support. They have to be protected and have storage particles or storage mechanisms in them. So they're going to have vacuoles and granules and inclusions, and then for support they're going to have that cell wall. Now this is the typical structure of a bacterial cell, and you can see, remember it's prokaryotic, it's very simple. Look at the chromosome, the DNA there. It's not in a membrane-bound nucleus. It's just scattered in that nucleoid region. And we're going to look at this more closely as we go through. First of all, externally, you see there are several things externally. There's the fimbriae that you see all over it, the little purple hair-looking structures, and then you've also got this green flagellum that we're going to talk about. You also see this slime layer that's around it. Now, the appendages, or the things on the outside, are for motility. That would be your flagella and your periplasmic flagella and your axial filaments. And then sometimes they are to help attach it to things or to provide a channel for something to move through. And that's the fimbriae and the pili, the little hair-like structures. That glycocalyx is a surface coating, and it's kind of like a cloak. Looking at the flagella specifically, you can see the green. That represents the filament, and that has the protein flagellin in it. The hook, the blue area in figure A, and the beige area in figure B, that's a sheath over the filament. And then the basal body, that's that stack of rings at the bottom that you see that anchors it in the cell wall. The flagella moves like a propeller. One way it moves is in like a propeller where it just moves round and round and round. It also is for movement Sometimes they'll move different ways. It'll whip back and forth and so forth. And you can see there it can have one flagella, it can have more than one, can have many of them, and it can run or tumble, cause the cell to run or tumble. Now, how are they arranged? If it's got one flagellum at one end, like you see down here in figure A, it's monotrichous. If it's got small bunches of them, like you see here in figure B at the bottom, that come from the same area, that's lophotrichous. In figure C here, there's a flagella at both ends. That's amphitrichous. And peritrichous, you just got flagella all over the surface, like you see here in figure D. Now, we've already said they're for movement. They're going to guide the bacteria because in a certain direction because of some sort of stimulus. It can be a chemical stimulus or even a light stimulus that causes it to move the bacteria. So which of the following best describes the action of the prokaryotic flagellum? A, it whips back and forth to move the cell. B, it extends and contracts to move the cell. C, it rotates to move the cell. Or D, it attaches to the environment and pulls the cell. And then there's E, it is capable of all of the above. Hopefully you chose E because it is capable of all of those activities.